Looking for clarity and confidence when it comes to decision making for your business? You've come to the right place. You're now listening to the Atomic Business Coaching Podcast.
I am Adam.
And I'm Tom.
And together we are Atomic Business Coaching,
where our stories are your solutions.
Nice, pal.
Nice job.
So, this is kind of meta. You ever go in the meeting about the meeting?
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is like the meeting of the meeting before the meeting.
Yeah, it's like the podcast about the podcast. So We're super excited to let everybody know about what we're going to do and this brand new venture that you and I are going into. But I guess before we go into any of that, maybe we'll share a little bit about each other and why we're doing this. So, Tom, why don't you tell everybody who you are and what we're doing?
Yeah, so I'm Tom Marino. I am a mindset and strategy coach, life coach. I wear many labels, but the key in this is that I am excited to be a partner with Adam as we help people in their businesses. And I got into this, coaching business 4 years ago after a major life transition of my own, where I went through a lot of what I help people through in transitions that I help them through. And, I'm a clinician by training. That was, my original journey was to go into healthcare and to help people by taking care of their health. And along the way, I went into administration and helped people to get better care. And now I'm taking what I learned over the last 20 years in healthcare, and I continuously help people to figure out what it is that they want in their life, the way they want to live, their mindset, and the importance of creating life harmony around that. So that's me in a quick nutshell.
Tom, I love it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And again, Adam Hurd. So I have been in financial service for 23 years now. So I own a financial planning practice. I've worked for some of the major corporations like Citigroup and BNY Mellon and MetLife for almost a decade. And then I had an opportunity to have my own practice. So I'm a financial planner, I'm a business advisor, and a CPFA. So a lot of my work deals with individual families and business owners. My ideal client is that new family who is a business owner. What happened through that process is an amazing journey of dealing with more and more business owners. So that led me into serving on different boards. I've been a part of chambers of commerce, from a lowly committee person all the way up to the president of a chamber of commerce. I have served on corporate boards as a volunteer. Believe me, not paid yet. That's one of my goals, but not paid yet. So I serve on a few different corporate boards. And then I am an advisor for different levels of advocacy. And one of those things is a lobbyist group that deals with financial service. So I'm an ambassador to New York State senators and assemblymen. I'm the vice chairman for that. And then I'm an ambassador to United States Congress. And one of the great things that came out of this was I actually serve on the Small Business Advisory Council for United States Congress. So dealing with all of these business owners and my financial planning really brought me to doing, over the last 6 years, more and more business advisement. And through that process, I was lucky enough to start a networking group. And that's where Tom and I had met at Long Island Networkers.
Yep.
Yeah. So that has helped so many business owners, and it's brought great people together. And I was even talking to Tom earlier today, and I told him, I'm like, I love you like a brother. And it's amazing to, through business, find incredible relationships. And then that led us to this partnership where we're bringing our two expertise together in Atomic Business Coaching.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head there, man. It's about the relationships, right? This is what it's about. I mean, if there's anything that people are going to take away from this experience with us as they listen to us, is we're going to always come back to that relationship and the importance of that. And we were connected through a relationship. My cousin connected me with you, and you had a relationship with her from high school, and we're all here. And there's no coincidences in life, right? Everything winds up being the way it needs to be. And it comes into alignment when you meet the people in your life that are supposed to be in your life at that particular time. And I always believe that there's been an energetic force that has pushed us together to be able to create something like Atomic Business Coaching, which is just going to explode for people. People are going to explode. We're going to help people's businesses explode. And whether they're clients of ours or they're just listening to this podcast and they're getting good information, we're going to build a relationship with you either way. And that's really what the goal of this is.
Yeah. And just like our tagline that Tom said there is where our stories are your solutions. That's really even how this evolved is when Tom and I got to know each other a little bit better. And I heard the story of his business and he heard the story of our business. What we realized is if we came together, we could help our individual clients out so much more because everything I do as a business coach, my clients need a life. And Tom has found everyone who has a life coach who's in business or would like to be in business needs a business advisor. And we couldn't believe when we started talking about this, how really our stories could be the solutions for all these people. And now if we merge them together, it can only enhance that kind of work that we do for our clients.
Absolutely. It's the synergies. It's coming together in a synergistic fashion, capitalizing on each other's expertise and using that to really propel people forward. And that's what we're really here doing.
Exactly right. And the main people that we want to try to help are people that were in similar situations to Tom and I. I always feel I have this ability to relate to people much better if I personally have gone through something or if I've helped someone go through something. And both Tom and I have had the experience of starting our own businesses and going through that journey. And over the past, I think, 2.5 years, Tom and I have helped each other go through our businesses individually as well. So not only have we gone through it, but we've gone through it with each other and sought out each other's advice to accomplish everything we want. And that's really where we feel we could have this podcast, share our stories, share the stories of clients of ours to really help all of you who may be listening. And hopefully some of you are. And that's really why we wanted to start this out. I think that kind of sums that part of it up.
Yeah, it's really, knowing what we know about each other and it just makes so much sense. And I think as we reveal to you and reveal to you guys that are listening how we work with people, you're going to see so much overlap. And there's overlap, but it's so unique to both of our methods, right? And both of our styles are, we're both very different too. Like that's the other thing that we bring is that contrast for people, right? I think it's important to emphasize that you have your approach, I have my approach, but we're bringing that contrast to someone that we're working with so that they can see different perspectives. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're changing people's perspective on how they're running their business and how they're running their life. And that's really what it's about is using that contrast and using our different techniques, but seeing how they're all really the same at the end of the day, right? We're doing the same thing. We're just both doing it differently. And that is what's really allowing our client to have such a unique experience that they're going to carry that forward and be like, oh, wow. And they'll be like, what would Adam do in this situation? All right, what would Tom do in this situation? And I think that contrast is such an important part of what's going to help our clients and is helping our clients to be successful.
Yeah, not only that it's an important part, we found it's almost essential. And most people are going to deal with both perspectives, whether it be in their mindset or their business or their life coaching or advising into what's happening every single day in their operations or how they're going to build their business. Most people are going to go through that. It's just they're usually doing it separately and most times at different frequencies, different times in their evolution of their business or their personal life. And what we feel is if we can do this simultaneously, we can expedite everything that you want to accomplish.
Right.
And we found that with many of our clients. And like Tom was saying, we may have completely differing views on something. And that allows our clients to come back and question it themselves to get to the solution. And Tom and I get to work together, come to what's best for the client. Right. Because, it's not just about our expertise. It's about what the client really wants to accomplish and what their goal is long term. And together we can help them. And this is a tagline that I use for many things, is we can help them get confidence and clarity to make decisions.
Right.
That's really what we're doing is we're going through as a coach, guiding people down this path so they can make the decisions that deep down inside their heart and their soul and their subconscious, they always wanted to make, but they just didn't know how to make it yet. And they also didn't know that they could make it.
Right.
So we're pulling out of them through these questions and through our process called 5WH, how to get down that path in a very short period of time.
Right. And we're really pulling them out of their comfort zone. We're helping them to navigate through those, when in coaching, we always talk about the comfort zone, the fear zone, the learning zone, and the growth zone. And that's what we are doing is we're bringing people through those different zones. And the beauty of us working collaboratively together as your coach is really giving us the opportunity to identify things that we see. And you and I have helped each other help the client because you've shifted or I've shifted, and because we've pulled something out that maybe the other person didn't pull out. And that just allows us to really approach our clients in such a holistic way, right? That's what this is. This is holistic business coaching in many ways, because we're looking at your whole life. We're looking at every aspect that we can touch on in your life and your business to help you be as productive as possible and get you to where you want to be, removing or helping you to remove those obstacles that we identify. And it's great because we meet every week, right? Me and you, we have our set meeting time to go through and talk about each of our clients to make sure that we are helping them to the best of our ability, giving them the most of what we can give them in those situations.
Yeah. And having those weekly meetings that we have to talk about our clients, and it's regularly scheduled programming with Tom and I on our own, one-on-one, no cameras, no mics going and everything else, us going through each and every one of our clients that we met that week. And the amazing part of it for me has been I have learned so much more, be a better coach on my end through hearing the perspective that Tom has on his end. I don't know if you experienced anything like that.
No, I mean, and you the business aspects and the things that you do and the things that I get to see you working on with the client and have that information, I guide the client the life side and from the mindset side, what is going to be necessary for them to accomplish this? What are they going to, and then ask them the questions to see really where are they in this and understanding it. Because the biggest thing that we have to make sure is that people understand where they're at. They have that awareness of where they are and that things may have to change to get where they want to be. And that's where working together and you're bringing all those cool, your whole strategy in business has been tremendous in helping businesses be so successful. Now we're just in their heads and giving them a fresh perspective and they're going to just propel forward because of that. And it's benefited me also in my business, right? Like learning from you, we're constantly teaching each other, right? And that's the beauty of this. We're both growth mindset people. We are both people who recognize the importance of continuous learning and being committed to learning as opposed to being committed to being right and closing ourselves off from opportunity. We see everything as opportunity. And I think when we're in the same place, and this is what we should encourage all people to do. Surround yourself with people that are like-minded like you, right? You can have differing perspectives and differing opinions, but the mindset, if it's the same, you're going to build yourself up that much further than you could ever do surrounding yourself with people that aren't going to support you.
Yeah. Not only the mindset being the same, it's what is the end goal? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? And that's one of the things that Tom and I have come to be able to do a lot better is you said a key word before. You said committed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're both committed to what we do and we're committed to our clients. But what has been amazing to watch through the process of the clients that we do work with through Atomic Business Coaching is they are committed to this. And then we can actually work together simultaneously to a similar goal, right? Tom and I, when we work on our own, we have the same goal for our client. And ultimately it's success, right? It's making progress, making little iterations, having success and seeing forward momentum all the time, whether that be in your business or dealing with your relationships like Tom does, or dealing with certain mindsets and obstacles, whatever it may be. It's that we get to do this simultaneously with someone at a similar goal makes the work so much fun for me. I enjoy it more doing it with you than I do on my own. Because now, unfortunately, like I said, I'm probably going to put that business out of business with this because every client I work with without you, I'm always like, man, if Tom only talked to them last week, Yeah,
if he only was there in the room to fix this issue. Yeah. Right. But that's the beauty of collaboration. we always win when we collaborate. And I think that's what we're demonstrating to our clients too. I think a lot of the successes is they see how well it works together, that they now are benefiting from that. And people don't want to leave us. They just love working with us because we keep giving that fresh perspective over and over. And you're doing it to, from the business sense, making sure it all makes sense. And like you said before, I'm working on those relationships, right? A lot of people we work with, a lot of business owners, that there's a lot of solopreneurs, and then there's the people who have several employees, but they don't always know how to deal with all of that. So we teach them how to, and guide them in how to manage those relationships and manage all aspects of their business. And I always say to people, the work is always the easy part. It's the managing of the people and all of that nonsense that gets in the way, that sometimes disrupts you from doing what you want. And, and it's really awesome to see how over the last several, months coming together and doing this has really been so powerful for so many so quickly. So it's great.
That actually leads us into some of the clients that we want to help throughout this process, and what we want this podcast to be for, and how they can listen to it and benefit from these stories, and those stories could be their solutions. So some of those people are, you ever have that person who they've had a career and they're just completely fed up with their job, and they either don't like it and they want to make a major transition into something else, mainly being a business, or they've realized they're so good at what they do and they can't believe that they're doing all their work to make somebody else money. Mm-hmm. And they know if they just started a business on their own, they could do it, but they really have no support. They're unsure of it. And that's one of the people. The second person would be someone who's had a hobby, and that hobby turned into a revenue generator. And they all of a sudden say, you know what, this could be something. This could be a career. But they really have no clue. They have no clue about business. They don't know where to go. They're unsure of, do they really want to do this? And are those reasons for the right reasons? And then the third person is a business owner who already obviously owns a business. Mm-hmm. And what they have decided is they need to make a major transition in their business, whether that's for personal reasons or business reasons. And they need walk through a program that's going to allow them to clearly define why they're making this shift. So what Tom and I have really decided to do is build a process that's called 5WH. And we feel this could do the best possible work for the clients by answering these questions. It's very simple. You've probably never heard this before. 5WH. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. It's kind of all of life's questions, right? Mm-hmm. And if we can ask those questions from a business advisor perspective and from a life coach perspective, we can probably get you where you want to go. And we have proven results that people can get there. And really what we're doing is each week we're going back and forth, and our clients are meeting with me, and then they meet with Tom in the same week, answering who. It's who are you? Who do you want your business to be? Things of that nature. Then we go through what, and what type of business do you want to be? And Tom, when you're asking what do you ask?
What do you value? What do you want from your life? What's important to you? Because that all has to be incorporated into what you do. If you don't know what you want and what you value and how those things are going to align, you're not going to have a smooth operation. You're going to have a lot of conflict along the way. And you need to be able to use that for, in your business and making decisions. So what do you value? What is most important to you?
Yeah. And where is the next question, right? So on my end, we figure out, where are you at, right? Where are you at currently? What does the business look like? Where does it need to go? We're answering those questions of where is it, and really putting down on paper and quantifying where this is so we could determine where we need to go.
Right.
And what about you, Tom?
And, it's exactly that. Where are the values that we've identified? But, where it comes back to is what's getting in your way if you where you are is not where you want to be, right? And understanding what those sabotaging things are that are getting in the way of you getting where you want to be, and understanding that even more. That's really the purpose of our where is where am I aligned and where am I not, and what's getting in the way of that happening.
Right. And once we answer those, we're able to go into the when. And the when is all these goals that you have in life, or that person who wants to start the business and quit their job. When are we going to quit? Or the person that has the hobby and says, you know what, I'm turning this into a real business. Well, when are you going to do that? Or the person who needs to make the major transition. It's all the whens in life, right? And we are asking that from both Tom's perspective and my perspective to really figure out and put down on paper a deadline, right? Because when you have a deadline, they always say, like, if it's great to have a journey, but if you don't have a destination, you don't know where you're really going. And that's what the when is about, to have this clarity of a destination of this is when I'm going to accomplish something.
Right. And the when is, when are you also going to take care of yourself from my perspective, right? When are you making the time for you as you've set these goals? What is the realistic nature of that goal? Because if you don't know when you're doing all this stuff for yourself and you're only focused on the when in your business and the when this is going to happen, then you may lose track of that. And it may not be as sustainable as you want it to be. And it's really, when are you going to take care of yourself? When are you going to make time for your family? And when are you going to do the work? And I think that's really so critical in the questions that I wind up asking.
Right. And, for me and Tom, the why is drastically different. On my end, when we're talking about why in the business, really talking about people. Why do you need certain people in your business? Why do you need to eliminate certain people in your business? It's a really big one. Why are the clients that you want to attain your clients? We would have answered, why are you doing this early on? But the why is really about the people. And what about you on your side?
Well, the why is why are you doing this? And usually you if you're not clear on why you're doing something and you're struggling to get where you want to be, the why becomes, all right, what are the beliefs and the fears that are getting in the way of you accomplishing your why, right? If you stop doing something because other people are saying you can't do it, or you're listening to other things, why are you listening to those outside external factors, right? Why are you not controlling it from your perspective? And it really brings up more of that. What are why do I need to believe this about myself? Well, it's because I want that to be where I go, right? And people have to understand their why. Why are you doing this? Because that's gonna also get into what you believe about yourself is, your reason for why. And usually it's a motivation that's coming from within you to accomplish your why. But you have to be aware of what all of the things are that are influencing you in the process.
And that leads us to the last question. 5W. H is the most exciting for people and the hardest to get to. And that's how are you going to do all this? So after we go through this whole process, how are you actually going to? So Tom and I each build out action plans of how you're going to accomplish things and put them in time frames and give you deadlines and tell you things that you need to accomplish across all those who, what, where, when, and whys. In addition, throughout this whole course, we are giving homework each week to help you develop different skills and understanding and explore what you really are truly trying to accomplish here. And some of that homework will come to fruition inside of the how meeting of, we answered these things, you did that work, now it's time to execute on it. And that's really where the system goes through. It's who, what, where, when, why, how. So you can then make the progress, move forward, and have that confidence and clarity to make all the decisions you need to be the person and the business owner that you want to be.
Absolutely. And the how for me, is that setting those expectations and boundaries, because that's the how you're going to accomplish this. Is it you have to have certain tools in place in order for you to accomplish it. And setting expectations support the boundaries that you're creating in being able to do the work that you want to do and be able to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. That's part of how you wind up doing it, is by those boundaries being supported all the time.
That's right. So that's our process. And that's actually some of the stuff that we will break down and talk about in all of our episodes. And what we've decided to do is we're just kind of going to have episodes. They're not going to be 10 minutes long. They're not going to be Joe Rogan 4 hours long. They're going to be whatever they are. They're going to be us telling stories give you solutions. So some of the things that we've decided, and we really have four kind of, what do you want to call it? Four categories that we're going to try to adhere to in no sequential order, excuse me, or anything else. But one of them is going to be our process. Like we just said, 5WH. So we may have episodes where we break down one part of that process. Another category is going to be client experiences. And this is going to be us discussing, obviously, we're not going to use any names or things like that, but us discussing what some of our clients have gone through and how they arrived at that and how we help them through it and the work that we do, but more the success that they've experienced and why they experienced that. And then interviews, right? We're gonna interview people who have gone through exactly what we have done. Now, maybe they didn't do it with us, but maybe they transitioned from having a hobby and turned it into a business, and we want to hear their perspective. Maybe it's someone who really did quit their job and now all of a sudden exploded. I know somebody now that I had a meeting with them today, and they are so thrilled that they were able to quit their 9 to 5. And the story of how they were able to accomplish it and the stresses they went through and the happiness they have today is an amazing thing. I can't wait to share through this podcast. And then the last of the four categories is going to be current affairs, right? Tom and I, we are professionals, we have licenses, we have certifications, and we have to stay up to date. So we're always in the news, right? We're always trying to understand things and better ourselves so we could do a better job for all of you. So we're going to talk sometimes about current affairs, and it may be on the business side or it may be on the mindset side. And we'll bring those things up. So I think that's really how we've decided we can flow through, run a podcast that interesting and brings value to all of you. And who knows, some other things may come up throughout that time frame, and any feedback is always going to be good. But what were you going to say, Tom? You look like you're going to say something. Yeah,
so I think one of the things about the interviews that I'm excited about is being able to bring people in that have made these changes and these transitions and maybe didn't do it with the coach or they did. But the key is that I want everyone who's listening to this, if you are that person that sits in that category of, I really don't like what I'm doing anymore and I don't know what I want to do next. It's really the goal of those interviews is to give you the courage to be able to do it yourself, right? And to inspire you to really do it for yourself and know that it's possible. I think a lot of times we get stuck in those limiting beliefs of, what's possible and what's not possible. And I think that one of the biggest things, considering that this is the type of people we want to work with, is take people from their crappy jobs where they're just miserable working for somebody else and they have so much more to offer and want to do it for themselves and they just don't know how to do it. And that's part of where we can have such a big impact on helping you to get to where you want to be. And, it's just about taking action and not getting stuck in it. And I think that'll come out from a lot of the people we interview over the course of these podcasts. And I think you'll see that as a resonating theme.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And that's the point because, Tom and I have limited time, right? We both have families. We both run other businesses and we're doing this. So we can't do it for everybody. And that was one of the inspirations to do this podcast, and bringing other people on and hearing their stories will be wonderful too. But I kind of almost hope that this podcast replaces our business coaching. I hope that we're able to provide so much value for our listeners through this that they can go off and do these things on their own. And that would really mean success to me, is if this podcast is enough for someone to make that change in their life or have the confidence to make a decision that they needed to make. And I think that's really, for me, why I want to do this, is to help more people. And you can only exchange so much time for money. And if this could be more ubiquitous across all the podcast platforms, that's really my hope, is that someone listens to this and hears it and they can change their life.
And if you are listening to it right now, and I always say there's a reason that you're listening to it right now, is because maybe we are talking to you and we're helping you to figure out what it is that you want to do next. And this will be part of your journey. And like Adam said, this will replace the coaching. And if you have that strength and that power and you're ready to go forward and you don't need the accountability, then go, start, do it. Don't wait. The time is now. There's no point in waiting. And I think that's one of the things that will be exciting to hear from people. And if you wind up being successful because you listen to this, obviously we want to know about it. We want to hear, and we'll interview you, and we get your story, because that will be, that'll be such fulfillment for us to be able to know that we had an impact on your life in some way. And that's what I always say to people when I meet with people that are potential clients too, Adam. I think it's so important to emphasize that whether or not you choose to work with us, whether or not you choose to work one-on-one or join one of our groups or whatever it may be at that point, if we can have an impact on you in maybe the 20 minutes or the 30 minutes that you listen to us, and you can take that and run with it, then that's all we need to be able to do for you. But allow us that opportunity to have some kind of impact, because that's all that matters, is that we're people helping people. And we want you to be successful. And that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Love it, man. I don't know. I think that's a good way to wrap this up.
I think so too, man. Look at that.
Yeah. I hope, we're going to have episodes. We're going to try to put them out every other week. Hopefully Tom and I can adhere to that schedule, which, I don't think we'll
which may not always be possible.
No,
but hey,
no.
You'll see our human side, the imperfect. That's
exactly right. So this is going to be a fun journey. I'm thrilled if you're here listening to this. I can't wait to do more and more of this. And I think we'll see you next time.
Next time.